You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burke Godwin. And you know, a subject that comes up a lot on this show is mental health, whether we're talking about sports and athletes having mental health issues on the field or off the field or in the workplace. And we're talking with people like Dan Negroni about how employers can help their employees, through mental health issues. And a 2022 APA Workplace Wellbeing Survey showed 81% of individuals said they will be looking for workplaces that support mental health where they seek future job opportunities. And that stat was provided to us by our next guest, who is the Mind Performance Coach. Her name is LINDSEY PAOLI. Welcome back to America Trends.
Thanks so much, Mary. Really great to see you again. Thanks for having me back.
Great to see you too. And I find this topic very important, and I think it's on the hearts and minds of people all over the country, especially coming out of the pandemic and people being really aware of their own mental health issues. And people, it's just, the stigma is starting to decline, I think. Would you say so? Would you agree with that?
A little bit. It depends on who you're talking to. So it's definitely becoming a more talked about issue, but it is still seen as maybe an issue that only they need to take care of, the people who talk about mental health. So there's still stigma. It's just not as great, I think.
Yeah, and so you talk to me about you being a mind performance coach and the mind fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually a former therapist. I was a licensed therapist here in Nevada during the pandemic when really people were becoming a lot more aware of mental health. And I think that the crisis really started long before the pandemic, but it made us a little more front of mind as to actually seeking help and what that might look like. But while I was practicing as a therapist, I recognized I was saying the same things over and over to all of my clients. The first 5 sessions could have been recordings. These were just really basic habits that a lot of us, including me, when I was struggling on my personal journey, didn't know. It was just not the basic education of how to take care of yourself. So I launched into mind performance coaching as an opportunity to educate people about how the brain and the body actually work together, how to better take care of your mind so you don't kind of fall into things like anxiety and depression, and how you can just really optimize the way that you're living for improved performance so you're not falling into those pitfalls.
Well, I pulled a quote from your Instagram, I think it was, where you wrote something about, I think it was regarding food and what people eat. And you wrote something, are you so used to feeling like crap that you don't even know that it's your food? And, I feel like there's times when we just get in the rut and we don't even know we feel badly because we're just so used to feeling that way. We think it's normal and we think it's okay. And it's not until you actually feel better that you think, oh my God, I went around for so long feeling that way. And it can be down to food or lack of exercise or different things. So talk to me about how, number one, you would kind of diagnose what is going on with you.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for, I think like the fitness industry or even sometimes the healthcare industry to chalk it down to bad habits, right? You only eat, you're emotionally overeating, get your eating under control, right? But also recognizing the foods that are helpful or detrimental to your body are useful in creating healthier habits, because it's not just all about what you're doing when you're stressed. It's also what you are doing under the best intentions when you're trying to do well as well. So things like 95% of our serotonin is created in our gut. And serotonin is a well-being neurotransmitter that helps us to sleep, to digest, to just have overall improved mood. And so if 95% of that is created in our stomach, not in our brain, then the way that our gut is functioning is really crucial to the way that we're feeling. And there's a lot of foods that contribute to your gut not being optimized and creating proper serotonin. So things like processed foods, white sugars are all going to decrease the serotonin production. And if you don't know that and you're trying to eat healthily, or at least you're trying to be mindful and I don't know, it's not all about the habits, the poor eating. It's also about what's going into your body.
Well, I think that I get so much joy from eating sugar, but really then I crash, it's like 10 minutes later, I think, oh my God, I shouldn't have had all that. But so tell me about some ways that we can optimize mental health in the workplace specifically.
So I've started working with a lot of companies with the idea that if we are addressing stress and burnout and anxiety and depression in the places where people, 85% of workers say one of their top 5 stressors is the workplace itself. So if we are addressing the stress in the workplace, then we're helping our entire mental health crisis. So some really simple ways that employees can improve the workplace is allowing more frequent breaks. Our brain is not created to be focused for 8 straight hours at a time. So we're not even doing our best work when we're trying to like power through an 8-hour day. Encouraging more frequent breaks, more frequent communication amongst employees, and even some fresh air outside is all going to kind of reboot that focus and the cognition in your brain throughout the day.
After this segment, a whole crew, we're gonna take a walk around the block, okay, guys?
Yes, and it's that simple. That's my entire mission, is to let you see that it's really the tiniest little micro changes that you can make in your day to day that have these massive impacts. But we just don't have the education of what those tiny, simple changes are.
And do you have, I was talking with somebody recently, a guest on the show, about how yoga was introduced at places of business a few years back, and they were trying to increase people's health that way. But what about food? Do you think that employers could help by providing healthy snacks at their place of business?
Yes. So I actually worked in hospitality management before becoming a therapist, and it's really informed a lot of the work that I do with corporate clients now. I worked at one of the top resorts, like the most luxury resort on the Strip. I don't want to name it, but it had a great positive impact in that the owner became vegan himself. And while I'm not necessarily promoting veganism, he shifted the entire process of our employee dining and removed all vending machines and increased healthy options within vending machines, and kind of took away the sugars and snacks and provided only healthier options within the employee dining room. And his entire mission was to decrease his insurance costs, and it worked. So absolutely, these are, again, really small changes that we can make to give people more opportunities.
Well, it improves your work function if your mental state is working better. So Lindsey Paoli, thank you so much for being here today. Your website is lindseypaoli.com, Paoli. Mind Performance Coach. You can find her on social media at Lindsey_Paoli. Thank you so much for being here. And everyone at home, stick around. We've got more America Trends right after this quick break.